Welcome to the Growth Series by Innovation Factory. Here we dive into the journeys of startups, entrepreneurs, and innovators, sharing their challenges, wins, and everything in between. Tune in as we hear from founders who've secured investment, scaled their businesses, and made game-changing exits. Whether you're just starting out or looking to take that next big step, we're here to inspire and guide you on your path to success. Today you're listening to
My name is Ryan O'Grady, and I'm the CEO of Fotaflo. And Fotaflo, do really two things. We make it super easy for any business that provides an experience worth remembering to capture great memories of their customers and provide those memories quickly and easily. And then we gain the benefit of really what people do with their memories to share experiences, to reach new audiences, to refer people back to that business, maybe look back on those memories months and years from now to return to that business. So really that's the value of what we do is we help any business. We believe any business that provides an experience worth remembering, when they actively help their customers remember those experiences with their brand and business, can benefit from really that authentic word of mouth marketing that people want to share. I came up with the idea of Fotaflo, geez, 2007. It's been a long time. I was really fortunate to kind of realize my first career dream, and I worked towards and was hired as a videographer, traveling the world, filming motorsport adventure. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, like when I was younger in high school, and I was, like I said, fortunate to realize that when I was 26. So I was traveling around the world, filming some pretty incredible adventures with doing these once in a lifetime experiences, staying at a nice hotel in Sweden or, snowmobiling in Siberia. And we were working with all these incredible operators and tourism operators, but nobody was capturing the memories. Nobody was providing these photos or videos of these amazing experiences to their businesses. So it was just an idea way back then to help these businesses. Originally, I thought I would provide the service and we could share revenue and we sell photos back to the consumers. And that's when I thought of photos and these memories as more so a product, that's something that you could leverage and sell. I came up with the idea in 2007, started the business in 2009. And in 2010, really out of shit luck, I developed a web app. And we were using like mobile phones to capture photos and have them upload and send back. And then we were delivering photos as attachments in emails, just out of convenience. And what I started to see was how media was being consumed and how people were sharing experiences and how they were creating conversations online. And I asked myself, one of my early mentors really talked about creating value and helping people get what they want. And I asked myself, well, what is the real value of capturing, souvenirs, these photos and these memories for people? Is it in leveraging these memories as products that we can try to sell to people and generate some ancillary revenue, or is it in allowing people to consume and share experiences and reach new audiences and new audiences and drive their friends and family back to this business? And so quickly realized that like referral business and growth for those businesses that we first started working with was way more important than selling photos or t-shirts or water or ice cream or something. And so that was a long time ago when people didn't even want to be on Facebook or social media. So it's been a long journey, because people didn't even care about being in social at that point. They didn't understand the benefit. And that there's been an evolution really in the education of how to engage customers and what is most impactful for brands in user generated content. So, there's so much that we've advanced within technology, where a lot of our, IP lies or just deep understanding is around, how consumers take their media, share their media, reach new audiences through various channels, and how to engage with consumers long term with captured memories. So Innovation Factory's been so helpful. It's actually incredible, and they've really touched every part of my business and our business, which is crazy. It started like I came in, I spoke to Dave Carter. He was the first person I spoke to and shared that I was working with this third party developer overseas and was struggling to advance ideas that I had, and he helped me develop specs. And I don't come from that technical background. Like, I'm not a developer. So starting with like just like really being hands-on and helping me like communicate and build, specifications and designs that were really important in the first stages of developing my technology. But then past that, they introduced me to my first kind of internal technical hire, who's now grown within our organization. And I can't say enough good things about Chad, who's my CEO, and then he led me to Martin Eckhart, who's our systems architect. They've helped with plans with hiring, and we have Megan Forbes, who's our sales director, who's absolutely amazing. So all of our team members have really like going through and hiring people and even like developing plans or interviewing and everything, but then also like guidance and mentorship. They've introduced me to so I have a number of different mentors that I call upon and experts, whether it's marketing, whether it's personal development, and all of those have came through IF. So funding, like we didn't really pursue investment, and we've tried to, and we have grown organically and self-funded the company, but so it's been really instrumental in receiving support through different government programs, and they've helped me find those. They've supported the applications, they've advocated for us. Obviously, we were a contestant in Lions Lair. We won, a prize there, and that was like so helpful for us. So like really, it's hard to like, I've given so much information, but it's still not enough. Like I can't say enough good things about Innovation Factory. And if you're in this space in technology or have any relationship to technology, within your business, which let's hope everybody does, like it's just such a great place to not just start, but really at all stages through your business to advance the things that are important to you to be able to grow and succeed. The one most impactful thing that Innovation Factory has provided me in our organization is connecting with experts, but connecting with our CTO and now my partners in the company, like connecting with financial resources. It's just the connection. I love Lions Lair. Lions Lair was such a great experience. It was a lot of fun. First of all, like for me, it was meeting a number of different peers that are all doing incredible things and finding out how they're positioning their businesses and understanding where their priorities for growth are. That peer-to-peer learning was really valuable for me. For us, it's about stepping out of your comfort zone. And anytime that you have that opportunity, you're growing. And so getting in front of a large group of people, talking about Fotaflo, developing obviously resources that I think, because sometimes you're so deep in your product, you're so deep in your business that it helps to have an external voice that isn't privy to what you're doing to help you kind of learn how to describe and share your benefits and who you are. One of the things that was just an incredible surprise to me that I didn't realize just how impactful it would be to my business is working with like a personal coach. So there was a prize with Epiphany coaches, and like of course we had great rewards, from winning or being one of the finalists and winners within that Lions Lair. But I can't say enough positive things about what that meant to me personally. Like I've been in business a long time, obviously a lot of ups and downs. It's required a significant amount of persistence to be where we are. But and sometimes it's hard, like, well, often it can be hard, and there's a lot of pressure to, and so like having a personal coach, like having that experience, being able to share, kind of, some of those things that are hard to talk about. That was just such a foundational thing for me that really helped propel me within my role and allowed me to continue to succeed. So yeah, all things Lions there, a huge supporter of, love it. And I wish I was at the party this year. I missed it, but maybe next year. Fortunately, I was introduced to Innovation Factory a long time ago. So it was, I think it was 2014. 2013, I had an incredible year. The business had grown substantially, and I didn't know where to move forward, really where to apply investment and how to grow. And I was actually kind of in between two of the regional innovation centers catchment area. Like I'm from a rural area. And so I was actually referred to Innovation Factory from the Regional Innovation Center in London, Ontario. And I'm really glad I was because like I'm sure they do great work, but Dave Carter was like, I scheduled a meeting. I said, hey, like I've got this business, I'm in tech. I don't have a tech background. I need help. I don't know how to grow this thing more. Like I've had a great year, but I don't know where to take it. I actually reached out to BDC too, and I hired some BDC consultants, but I don't know, it just wasn't as tailored to the type of industry that I was within. So I scheduled a meeting and I met Dave, and right from day one, like his past experience, like growing his own business, securing investment in a fairly relative space to where we were, like so right away he knew he got us, he understood the challenges, he understood where he could help. And really it's been like completely dynamic based on where we need help. Like if we need marketing help, if we need sales help, if we need tech help, if we need human resource, like whatever. So I guess that's been a long time working with Innovation Factory, and I can't, like I said, so many different parts of our business that they've supported. Moving on to Lions Lair, like we were curious about, um, finding ways to receive funding, to receive investment. We really hadn't done anything in that space. We haven't focused or spent time there. So Lions Lair was like kind of a shortcut for us to be able to to develop the resources and pitch Fotaflo effectively. And so yeah, it was Dave once again, I believe, that said, hey, I think it's time, guys, you should consider this. Like, been a number of years we saw kind of Lions Lair take place. We weren't really interested in external investment. He said, I think there's a lot more benefit outside of just developing a pitch deck. And so I'm glad we listened. It was a great experience, and it led to some really positive outcomes for our business moving forward. Looking back at COVID-19 is like a little bit of PTSD. Now, it was horrible. And I don't want to say that lightly, because it was just a horrible time for our world. But for our business specifically, we lost 60% of our revenue in 2 weeks. The entire global tourism industry basically came to a halt. So we were like saying goodbye to our team and just being like, it's been a good run. Hopefully, we'll see what the future holds. And then, first of all, though, the wage subsidy and the SEBA, there's a loan that came out, like, and it was like 11th hour. Like we were like literally like saying goodbye, and then it's like, hold on. And then, of course, like Innovation Factory kept us updated, and they were like a primary resource for us to understand what financial resources were available to us, because we were going to shut down, like we were done. And then we were able to receive, some those subsidies, and we were able to continue to sell new businesses like every month. I don't think we lost a ton of revenue, because there's certain markets that just were done, but like Florida, as we now look back, like they had some of the biggest tourism years in the history of that state. So, and of course we received mentorship and guidance and psychological support, but also strategic support, and where to apply our efforts to continue to sell. And so we were able to sell. We were every month, like even when COVID happened, we were able to continue to sell. And then we received some funding and once again, this was Innovation Factory directed us towards these different programs, but through Can Export, actually, which was amazing. And so, once again, IF introduced us to Can Export and contacts there, and we were able to successfully gain some funding to market Fotaflo. And actually, like those virtual conferences that were happening during that period were absolutely incredible for us. Like we were able to like maximize that investment, attend way more events than we could in person, reach a way larger audience, and be able to, with a strategic framework, to like really understand who we want to target, where they're from. And we were able to we had some significant growth. We had one of our biggest months ever right in the middle of COVID. And so, it's still not easy. We have very large aspirations, and with great, opportunities comes great challenges, right? But like surviving that was one of our biggest challenges, if not our biggest. And to come out the other side and continue to grow, I feel very fortunate, because I know not everybody was able to do that, especially in the tourism industry. So how did I create a technology business without a tech background? Actually, it was in the 2008 economic downturn and the housing crisis, where there was some grants for small businesses. And I had this idea in the back of my head. Like, and I'm like, this is something that could really work. And it just, and so it was a grant actually, and I'm a huge supporter of grants because it presents a carrot, and it forced me to put down an idea into something tangible. And I didn't receive the grant. So I never got, it was only like 5K, but I didn't get it. But it forced me to create a plan. And so I took my own kind of savings and invested it in the first version of what Fotaflo is today. Fairly naive in how difficult it was going to be, but equally persistent. So I found an agency that developed software that helped me create the first version. I had a friend that helped me roll it out at a zipline tour that's close by where I'm from. They're the first company and they're really supportive. I had a really close friend that dealt with all the problems of that first version and helped me grow it. So yeah, I really like my background wasn't in technology, but I just had an idea and belief and with the right support from friends and mentors and people that just, there's a lot of people out there. If you just ask for help, it's amazing the type of support that you get. There were a number of strategic connections that were gained through Innovation Factory during COVID and during the pandemic for Fotaflo. And so some of those were really important to our technological advancements and marketing and sales and growth. So starting with Jim Letwin, who is the CEO of Jen Kelly, I know they're a huge supporter of Innovation Factory. And, he was an acting executive in residence and he was an incredible supporter of what we did and helped us focus our marketing direction and continues to do so. He's somebody that still, like years later, was somebody that I connected with through IF and continues to be just a major influencer in our direction. And also Peter Walker, who supports the NRC and innovation. He was a connection that I received through IF. So I forgive me, I can't remember, but there was a consulting service that Innovation Factory provided during that time where somebody within their team would look at your business and where your priorities were and identify third parties that could support you. And so he and the NRC was somebody, and the IRAP program was a referral through that, along with Can Export. So there's a number of people I've worked with Can Export, but that program has been absolutely amazing for us. They've supported our and allowed us to grow in new markets. And it's amazing because there's certain limitations on regions and markets based on the revenue and growth in those markets. And we've now grown outside of the limitations, which is the point, right? Like they've allowed us to focus on certain markets and certain regions that we are no longer applicable to receive funding for because we've had success. So those programs so helpful. Starting with, I think what they do is identify which are the ones that are really meaningful and most beneficial for you, kind of analyze which opportunities you should pursue, make it easy to make those connections, and then even support right through the application. All of that came from those introductions and the support that Innovation Factory had through the pandemic and beyond. With Fotaflo right now, there's so much excitement because we can really make a massive impact in such a broad market and various markets. People have predominantly thought of capturing photos of a tourist or somebody going down a roller coaster and you get that scared photo at the end. But like there's vendors out there that have considered those photos and consider them products, right? Like you may even experience that yourself where you go on a cruise ship and they print off photos and they're trying to sell you your own memory. And if you don't buy it, it ends up in a landfill, like, which is crazy. But really what we've done is proven that if you're any type of business that provides an experience and a great experience that your customers want to remember, by simply adding service and helping people capture those memories and providing them from the business, your customers are going to reach new like audiences and generate more business for you than really any other marketing. And so for us, what's really exciting is that we've proven that out. We are really the first company that's like, kind of in the space of capturing those photos and videos and memories of people that recognize how much earned marketing you can gain from just providing those. And so what that has meant is for us is really we work with every type of tour activity or attraction, every type of business that you could imagine. And we believe that we can serve so many other businesses outside, like say a traditional tourism industry that could benefit by capturing memories of their customers. So we have very large aspirations for our product, and we've been able to prove out those benefits. We have a lot of experience. And what's exciting mostly though for us is that we've had a vision for a very long time. We've believed and known something to be true, but people didn't understand it. And now it's so much easier. Businesses and business decision makers understand that their customers are the key to reaching new customers. And the best way to help your customers reach new customers is to capture a great memory. And so that was really counterintuitive not so long ago, but the market is maturing in understanding the value that we provide, and we're excited just about how much addressable market that we can serve and help. In the next number of years, like, we believe that we're going to serve thousands, if not tens of thousands of businesses. Our vision is that every business that provides an experience worth remembering is actively capturing memories and gifting them to their customers. And so when I say every business like that provides an experience worth remembering, like I mean that they should be using our product. They should be capturing those memories, giving them to their customers, because their customers are going to help them grow better than any other marketing. And with the rise of machine learning and how simplistic it is now to create content and how that's been commoditized, generating content through your own channels, through your own the channels of which you control, like there's really not a competitive advantage. So any business can do that and do that well. Artificial influencers now that are being created that can post better content at the right moments to the right audience and analyze those results. But the number one reason for the discovery of any of these businesses 10, 20 years ago was word of mouth. The number one reason and most trusted form of marketing today is word of mouth. In 20 years from now, the most trusted form of marketing your business is word of mouth. And so for us, like, we just know something that not a lot of people know. And we see it, we understand it, it's in front of us. The data proves how much we can help businesses. And it's taken a while for the market and for businesses to understand that the most important thing that they can do to reach new audiences is allow their customers to reach new audiences for them. So, and I know that seems easy now, but it wasn't. People didn't think about this a number of years ago. So where do we see ourselves? It's just because of that market maturing into that understanding, because we've been working within this for so long to prove those benefits to businesses, because the features within our product really maximize the opportunity of gaining benefit from your customers and sharing and expanding your brand, we just have a really significant opportunity to help a lot of businesses be more successful. Like, I mean, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. And so that's our goal, is how do we make it easier? How do we allow businesses to benefit from our product? And I won't go into those details because we haven't launched some of these strategies, but in 5 years, yeah, like, I don't know, like it's a poor metaphor, but like the Instagram of business, it's better. Like, really, it's, if you're out there trying to create content every day through your own social channels, reaching a small audience versus every one of your customers reaching new like audiences with better content, what are you going to choose? And that's Fotaflo. So yeah, so we're excited. We're absolutely we see this massive opportunity, and it's really how do we realize that so we can help more people. Of course, there's so much advice I'd love to provide to young entrepreneurs and people that are starting out. It starts with just belief, right? And sometimes that can be hard, even over time, to believe in what you can do, to believe the impact that you can have, believe that you can be successful with business. And so, one of the most important lessons is just, first of all, like, treat yourself the way that you treat somebody that you incredibly respect, and seek help, like, seek help from people that want to lift you up, that want to support you. There's so many people out there, like, and it starts with a company, an organization like Innovation Factory. They care, they want to help you. They're going to find you the right resources. But there's people in your life that I'm sure you could reach out to, and that may step out of your comfort zone, but it's those people that are just going to help you through the ups and downs that are inevitable in being an entrepreneur and a founder of a technology company. If you're listening to this podcast and you either work for a business that provides an experience worth remembering, if you own a business that provides an experience worth remembering, if you know somebody that provides an amazing experience that their customers want to remember, they should check us out, Fotaflo.com, and just book a demo. You can get it online. There's a link. It's super easy. You can find a time. And like in a very short call, we're going to show you how you can empower your customers to market your business for you, quite frankly, more affordably and more effectively than any other way.
Thanks for tuning into the Growth Series. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and stay inspired. Until next time, keep innovating.